This one is just to show you like what kind of other sounds you can make. So how I did this, I had 2 layers or 2 different kind of sounds. You can like stack it up like this, is fine, but try not. Oh yeah, if you have like the chance or so, you can just like keep stacking sounds together. Sometimes you don't need to stack so many layers of sounds together. Sometimes less is more. So like this. So that alone is a whoosh. That alone is a saw sound effect. So both together. And then in context all together. So there are like other tools you can use to, like, depending on the sound you're trying to make, reverbs, EQs, what else? Pitch drivers. Pitch drivers basically like helps you make the sound higher pitch, lower pitch. But if you do it too much, you may lose the quality of the sound. So make sure you're not abusing the sound too much. Reverbs are what make your sound a bit more like echoey sounding. Let me see. Yeah, so I have a reverb here. Yeah, so this is what the sound can sound like without anything added into it, like any treatment to it. But then if you did like a bit of treatment to it, like add like a reverb, make it sound like longer, make it sound like a bit more distant, maybe tweak the pitch up and down a bit. Yeah, it does sound a little bit different, and sometimes you don't need to change too much in your sound. That's fine also. But in a general rule of thumb, like if it sounds nice, then it's okay. Okay, so designing your sound also, you can also look at it in a way where like how you want sound to start, how you want the sound to sound like in the middle, and how you want it to end. So how you do that is you can take different sounds from different places and mash it in together to make it sound like it makes sense in that context. So in this context, it's a light orb exploding kind of sound. So this is like what I use for the beginning. So it's like a hand grenade, fireball. So the sound alone like is plain. So you want to have a bit more like loudness into it. Then the middle, there's a fire, and then the end. So like to let the sound like trail off at the like just a little bit like that. You don't want it to just serve this function. So in this project, how I went about deciding how much variation I would like in the game, it depends on the project itself, of course. Oh, okay, sorry. So I got a question that says how many variations to use in context of CPU limitations. So what that means is like how much if I'm not mistaken like how much kind of like sounds do you use in context of like how well the DAW performs. To me, I had to make multiple projects. So like 1, 2, 3 sound effects would be in like project A, then the other few sound effects would be in project B, so on and so forth. So like it's okay if you have a lot of sounds, you can like split it apart, like that's fine.
That was a great question.
Okay.
Yeah, later on when we head into implementation, I can actually show you how to go around it when you only have like 2 or 3 variations, but you want to make it like a lot more varied and not so samey. So there's a tool we can use for that in Fmod and other middleware. We'll talk about later.
Definitely. But that was a great question.
So if you can see the video. the video does, like, the animation did not had to be too detailed also. Like, you can see it's like very, very blocky. It's like not a lot of textures inside. That's fine. Because in the description, like, they had like a video reference for me, which is Destiny's Energy Shield, I think. So they basically told the clients basically told me, okay, this is what we want the sound to sound like. So then it's my responsibility to figure out, okay, how I want to make the sound like that. And like, thankfully, I have like sounds like sci-fi sound effects, like energy shields, because I already have the sound, so I can just like use it. If you don't have the sound, then it's okay. You can try to get creative. Try to figure it out. There's a lot of experimentations on what kind of how you make your sound. So there's like, again, like, there's no right or wrong way. How I create this sound may be different from how the next person creates their sound as well.
Would you like this is just an overall thing that maybe they might be wondering is like, would there be like a fixed way that some people do it and some people prefer not to do it, and what's your favorite way of doing it?
My how I like to make my sounds is I would first go through like either like the existing sounds that I have, dump it all together. So let's say fireball, or like a fire sound effect, like casting magic fire. So I will go through the list of like fire S effects that is there. I'll dump it all inside, like stack it all like one on top of the other, and then from there I'll slowly like delete and see like, okay, what do I need? And if like sound A and sound B stacked together doesn't sound too different, then you delete. You can delete one of them. Because like, if you stack too many sounds together, also like, it will end up just sounding like too messy, too muddy. Like even like this also. Like, you can argue that sound alone is fine. You can argue that this sound alone is good as well. But if you want also, if you add the two together and it doesn't sound too messy, or it doesn't sound like there's like too many things happening like all around each other, if you want to go with that, that is fine as well. To me, I think what I did was I gave them like 3 or like different variations, like give them this option, because to me it sounded okay on its own also, and then this is option 2, and then like option 3 is like everything added in together, so that's fine. Oh, yeah.
Great.
So according to the animation also, like when the shield came down and then went forward, so I added in like a layer there as well, because like otherwise it'll just sound like the shield is just like falling down, which is good also. And then I had to have a disappearing sound. Yeah. When creating sound effects also, like you don't have to be afraid of destroying your sounds, or like to experiment and see how you want your sounds to, or how you want to like achieve the sound. Like, for example, I was recreating Dio's, or like a few like JoJo songs, also like Dio's The World. So how that sounded like is like clock ticking, a bass, and I think that's about it. So what I did was I stretched that bass kind of sound, so like, so to make it like sound like longer. And then the clock ticking, I just like stacked like one after the other, like according to how it looks like. So an example, let me see if I can do this. Yeah, so that's me stretching the sound. If you want, you can stretch it nearer. So what I did was like stack the sounds like one after the other. and it kind of works lah.
Mhm.
Later on, so like later on, like if I can show you that, that'd be fun. Okay.